Hey, welcome to Woozyfly.com. I'm your host, Matt Davis, and with us is the band Gaijin and Go-Go. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are y'all feeling after the set? Good?
Really good.
Good. Why don't we start by introducing your names, because some of them are quite interesting. We'll start to my right.
I'm Zen Stefani.
And I'm
Pleased to meet you.
Oh, and I'm Lick Shakuhachi.
And we're Cindy and Cindy from Wink Lady.
Kiko Kimono
I like that.
Kiko Kimono Lisa. Hajimemashite.
I'm Psycho Mikan.
Well, welcome, guys. I'm not going to try and rehearse any of them back. So tell us a little bit about how you guys came together. I mean, obviously the first question everyone's going to ask is, how'd you come up with the name Gaijin and Go-Go?
Well, Gaijin means foreign barbarian, sort of like the gringo of the Japanese language. And since none of us are Japanese, evidently, we wanted to sing in Japanese. We've been there before, we have great admiration for the culture, and wanted to do something that was a little bit different. And so we did. And we started the band about 7 years ago, so we've been doing this before Glenn. Record.
That's right. From what we've read, you came together in 2000, but there obviously have been some evolutions to the band, or so you say. How did that work?
Well, we are basically an art project that has evolved because we're from Brooklyn, and the musicians sort of have evolved, and different faces have come and gone, and this is the latest incarnation of Gaijin and Go-Go. We're very happy that everybody is here, and we used to be 11 people, and now we're actually 8 total. We're missing a few.
We tell people how much smaller we are and how much more mobile we are. They're like, great, how many are you? And we're like, 8. It's still bigger than everybody else. But when we started, it was, I don't know, 4 or 5 people, and it was more of a garage-y type of band. And then it grew into the big band of 11 people, and now it's back down again.
So let's actually go back to when you started. How did you guys come up with the inspiration or the theme of the Japanese culture to kind of drive your music? Where did that spawn from?
Again, an admiration and inspiration about, well, I used to live in Japan, so I guess that would be where it all began. And so after studying the language and living there and absorbing it and admiring it, I sort of wanted to see how that could be incorporated in a very exotic way. We love 60s music, 60s pop, so we were just kind of meshing a few ideas together, and we love to dress up. So do the Japanese.
You can see. Now, speaking of the 60s music, 60s and 70s, I think because you hear certain sounds of the 70s in there as well, are there any certain bands or artists that inspired you, and you try to, not so much emulate, but, bring forth in your music?
Definitely. Well, we were listening to a lot of Pizzicato 5 and
Stereo Total when we started off, definitely. They're not from the 60s, they're current, but they were a huge influence. And right now we're listening to a guy named Chris Joss a lot. He's a huge inspiration. And the Pinkertones, but again, this is all current stuff.
This is new.
Yeah.
We're electronic now. We used to be a full band, really. It was a different deal.
Yeah, it's always the vibe. I mean, Pizzicato 5 were also just a duet too. In terms of the old 60s stuff, the usual suspects, the Gainsbourgs and the Ray Davies of the world.
Right. So now the next one, tell me about the outfits. I see. Are those eyeballs on your dresses? And
These are googly eyes.
what are those supposed to?
We've got our eye on you. Eyes, all eyes.
The guys who just dress to impress, is that the theme here?
Exactly.
Or scare. One or the other. No, we like to really have fun with the look of it too. It's part of the spirit of having fun. I mean, that is what we are hoping is contagious in our music and in the presentation. We make our costumes so they're 100% original. You cannot get them at H&M. So
I was wondering where I'd seen them before, but I guess nowhere.
So yeah, we're pretty much original
Very good.
all
Now,
the way.
speaking of original indie music and the presentation, you guys just finished up your third album at the end of last year, titled Go Go Boot Camp. And I have some notes here that you worked with John Blaney, who has also worked with The Clash and Keith
Joe
Richards.
Blaney, yes. Yeah.
Joe Blaney, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that process?
Well, that was the first album.
That was the first
that was
album.
Happy Go
I'm
Go
sorry.
Lucky. Yeah, that
Happy
was the
Go
one
Go
we
Lucky.
did for our first two albums were done for Sony in Japan. They weren't released over here, but they were on, and they brought him in because he's obviously a heavy hitting producer. I really loved working with him.
Oh, he was amazing. Oh, yeah, Joe was total pro. I mean, we were so lucky to get to work with him, and the whole experience really helped us raise our game.
Absolutely,
really
absolutely.
did.
Somebody like that just obviously raises the level because of his
Yeah.
experience in the studio and I'm sure his confidence with decision making and everything like that. Again, thank you all for coming in. Let me say, and I go around and thank each one of you, but I'm not going to be able to pronounce your name, so I'll just say thank you, Gaijin and Godo, for coming in. And great sound, very energetic, and there's a lot of excitement out there for your sound. So, best of luck in this year. And moving forward. And thank you for joining us on Woozyfly.com. I'm Matt Davis. Take care.